All right. Well, hello, everybody. Tom Agnati here for your midweek Macca break. And hope everybody is doing well. Let me know in the comments section if you're there. Who are you? And we'll get this party started. And I'll take your comments and questions. I'll show a few things that I've been listening to lately. And we'll stick around for an hour and a half, and we'll see how this thing goes. And of course, we've got Beetle Eddie. How you doing, Beetle Eddie? Hope you're doing well, buddy. But yeah, we got not too much news except for tickets did go on sale for Texas, San Antonio, and hope people got tickets for that. And that one I won't be going to, but looking forward to the ones that I am going to go to. And we've got Lynn. Lynn, good to see you. Thanks for being here. We got Christopher. Chris is away from the UK. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. And then BLA says, I'm fine. How are you doing? I'm doing well as well. A little tired. Had a long day at work, but I slept well. But I might fall asleep early tonight. I am going to be seeing the new Naked Gun film tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing that. And, that's my plan for tomorrow. Tonight, if you are part of our Discord family, that means you are a Patreon, and we are going to be doing our monthly listening party. And we are going to be listening to Red Rose Speedway and some of the bonus tracks. Yes, Harry, how are you? Yes, I did. I trimmed off the beard. Yeah, it was time. It was getting itchy. Plus, it's hot and muggy over here, and plus, I got skin issues, so I got medicine for that. Drops for that I gotta take care of, but that's TMI, anyways. But yeah, clean shaven, right? Well, almost. But thanks. Hope you're doing all well. Or I hope you're doing well, Harry. I told my son to choose between Fabulous Four or Naked Gun. Yeah, what did he pick? What did he pick? The picture you have of Paul, I don't remember having a Van Dyke. Okay. I mean, in the thumbnail. Christopher, any news about the new Macca album? No, everything is being very tight-lipped right now. Very tight-lipped. And when it looked like we were going to get something soon, as in January, on his monthly newsletter or whatever it was, he said that he was putting the finishing touches on his new album. So I don't know. I hope it's not next year. I hope we don't have to wait. I mean, I hope it's this year. But he has put out an archive and a new album back in 18, right? Didn't he put? Didn't Egypt Station came out in October or so? Was it September? And then in December, Red Rose Speedway and Wildlife came out. So we'll see. All right, here says good. I'm glad to hear that. Any new singles, Harry? I picked up. I got a couple in the mail last week and this week. I got the French. Maybe I'm Amazed from '76, the live version, and then I got another copy of Mary Had a Little Lamb from Mexico. I got another Mary Had a Little Lamb coming from Brazil. Hopefully, I'll get it next week. Maybe by the end of this week, hopefully, but we'll see. Then I don't know yet. We aren't going until next. Okay. Okay. Tony D, what's going on? What's going on? Yeah, almost. All I did was just trim it, though. I didn't actually shave, but probably will for the fest. Probably will for them. Speaking of the fest, we will be there. Andy and I, we are going to be at the fest. We're looking forward to it. We are going to be doing a panel on chaos and chaos and creation in the backyard, the 20th anniversary, and we are very much looking forward to doing that and seeing all of you, seeing all our friends, all the great authors and special guests. We're really looking forward to being there. Can't wait. Actually, I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. So do you think the album will come out before the tour? No. Oh, no, it would have been announced already, I think. I think it would have already been announced. I'm thrilled you're going to talk chaos. That's awesome. Yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait. No new singles. It's been a while since I looked, but did you pick up the Laserdisc of Broad Street a couple of weeks ago? Cool. So you got the. Did I? Hold on one second. I might have that. Do I have it? I don't know. Actually, I'll just grab all of them here and see the ones that I have. I do have. What was this? This is a 7-inch or whatever laser disc of Once Upon a Long Ago. It's the videos. So this has the video for Once Upon a Long Ago, Stranglehold, Pretty Little Head, and We All Stand Together. So it's a pretty cool laser disc right here. And we got Put It There, right? This is from the 89-90 tour. This is one of my favorite specials here. Let's see it here. You got Tim. Tim, how you doing, buddy? Glad you're here. And yep, Tony says hi to Tim. Then we've got the 86 Paul McCartney special, the interview. This was really good. I really like this one a lot. We did a show on this. Then we've got Rock Show on Laserdisc. No, I don't have a Laserdisc, Tony, but I might pick one up. We'll see. But anyways, there's Rock Show. I don't know if this is everything. I don't think this is everything. Could be. I'll have to look. But anyways, there's that. There's the Beatles' first U.S. visit on Laserdisc. Okay. And you got Magical Mystery Tour. Okay. Then we do. Here it is. Broad Street on Laserdisc. Now, hold on. Let me straighten this out here. So let's pop this sucker open. And there you go. This is probably double-sided. So it would play and then flip itself over. So there you go. There's the Laserdisc right there. Tim Allen's got a Laserdisc player. Right, Tim? And he watches some Laserdiscs. Well, there you go. That's Broad Street. Ollie, no, these are, excuse me, I bought these from one of our Discord family members, actually, Serge. He was looking to get rid of them, and he asked me if I was interested, and offered, gave me a price, and I said, yeah, sure, and I bought them from him. So, but no, these weren't eBay, but I'm sure you can get all of these on eBay. There. Tony says, I only saw Magical Mystery Tour once. Sometimes I talk too fast. I gotta slow down. And then James, how are you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Tim says, I like watching laser discs. They aren't a bad format. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, there's that one. I got a couple more here. Then we got Get Back. Okay, which was what? Well, this was the concert film for the '89 tour, 89-90. All right. And we've got Liverpool Oratorio on Laserdisc. Yes. I hope to watch this this one day. I do have the DVD though. This I think I have the DVD and VHS. So not only do I have several different ways of listening to this, I also have several different ways of watching this. And then you got the '93 Paul is Live concert. Okay. Which let's see here. Yeah, I don't understand why he didn't do, another day, fixing a hole, every night, and you don't put those on your live. I just don't get it, but there it is. Okay. And then this one called Paul McCartney Moving On. Okay. I've never seen this before, but one day. Okay. It's a nice collection, ladies. This they are all on the list. Yeah. You made a deal you couldn't. There you go, Tony. No, you made me an offer I couldn't refuse. When I was in second grade, my school showed us a TV show on Laserdisc. It was '98. Yeah. Yeah, I think with the DVD was coming out right around that time. I'm doing fine. I have a friend who's at the Oasis tonight at Wembley. I look forward to his opinion. Cool. Yeah. There was our friends from Ranking the Beatles were just there. Seeing Oasis. I should say not Paul, but Oasis. Okay. Let's get back to the comments here. Tom, when are you ranking all of Paul's work? This is going to be later on in August. And I'll get back to that in a second. Henry, how you doing? James says, moving on is the New World Tour documentary, isn't it? I haven't seen it, so I'm not 100% sure, but it looks that way. Because if you turn it over, there's the back, and it says, obviously you got the '93, you got the '93 band right there. So yeah, it's probably going to be a documentary on that. So it might be on. Someone check and see if this is on YouTube actually, because if it is, we should be doing a show on this soon. And on Two Legs, So yeah, I mean, we're assuming that it's a documentary on the making of Off the Ground. My LD player is an old one from a school. It's a beast. I bet. One of the Gallagher brothers got arrested a few days. Oh, well. What's up with that? So anyways, BLS, yeah, and later on in August, for the 9th anniversary of Two Legs, I'll be ranking everything. And what that is the canon stuff, classical stuff, live stuff, and the electronic stuff. Okay, I won't be adding greatest hits or compilations to that. So that's the plan. Okay. And this week I've been listening to getting reacquainted with a few things, which is the first two Fireman albums. And I enjoy Rush's, more than the first one, Strawberries, Oceans, Ships, and Forests. But yeah. So I am slowly but surely getting my rankings ready for that. And like I said, it'll be like in the second half of August. Okay. Ollie says, "What's the documentary? Documentary Paul going back to Liverpool in 1990." Not sure. James says it is on YouTube, so that's great. Okay, I'll have to watch that, and we will. We'll probably do a show on that soon. Twice in a lifetime is better. No, no more twice in a lifetime, please. Damn you, Harry. Have you ever had an out of body experience? No, I can't say that I have there, Ollie. Can't say that I have, my friend. I still have 5 of Paul's live albums to listen to, and the first 2 Fireman albums before the big ranking show. Yeah, like I said, I was listening to these. I listened to both of them a couple times, and like I said, Rush's is fantastic. The first one is basically the same track just being remixed over and over and over again. It's good background music, but I didn't find it highly enjoyable. Let's see, Rush's from 98. Yeah. Yep. Going Home is the documentary. Okay. Henry says, Tom, did you see Joe's video he did about Billy Joel? About his comments of the White Album? If so, no, I didn't see that one yet. So, no. The first Fireman album is boring. Yeah. I mean, it's not great. New Naked Gun is getting a really good. Yeah, it's 93%, I think, on Rotten Tomatoes. So, but anyways, it doesn't matter. I got my ticket for tomorrow. I think I'm going at like 4:00 tomorrow. I think on the Moving On documentary, you can hear a clip of McCartney Stewart song, Is It Raining in London? Okay. Cool. I look forward to that then. Excellent. As if Familiar one, just elements of Off the Ground track, and also broadcast from BTE. Back to the. I mean, it's just like the same track, but remixed over and over again. I think there are some stuff from Off the Ground. You can hear some elements of Kicked Around No More on there, and other jams. But again, it's not really that enjoyable. James Boyce, if the White Album is half-assed, then it is the White Bum. Is that it? Yeah, for you guys, you call it bum over there, right? So yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I'm sure I will. That's on what, HBO Max? I think they said it was on. And I plan on getting HBO Max towards the end of August, because that's when the DC stuff. I think the new Peacemaker season will be coming out towards the end of August. So I'll probably get it then. Uncle Paul, how you doing, buddy? On a mini break from producing 9 more Uncle Paul episodes. Hello. Yes. Oh. Well, when they're up, I'm looking forward to seeing those episodes, buddy. Please check out Uncle Paul's Beatles Pop Playhouse, because you'll have a good time watching his videos. I have. Let's see. Do you think Paul will add more dates in maybe New York? It just depends on how far he wants to go to do, be on tour. I mean, it's a 2-month tour. What's 18 shows? 18, 19 shows now with this new date added. There is a few days in between the first and second show, but not too many dates in between the rest of the dates now that Paul added that Texas show. So we'll see. I mean, just depends if he wants to go into December. We'll see. Ali says you've been listening to SoundCloud, the Fireman. So yeah, I've listened to this. You know, I'm going to listen to it again before I do my ranking. But I got to tell you, this I didn't think this was that fun either, or entertaining, or the listening experience wasn't that enjoyable when I listened to this. But there are fragments of Beatles stuff in here, conversations and stuff like that. So you know, this has some interesting stuff in it, but that doesn't make it good. but yeah, I'll be listening to that again before I do my my ranking. See. Henry says, I completely disagree with Joel's comments about the White Album, but I understand it coming from him because he's a perfectionist. And if anyone is allowed to criticize how music is made, it's Joel. Okay, fair. Fair enough. James says, I will likely see the Billy Joel doc on Blue when it appears, if it does. Billy Joel documentary is a must see. Cool. So you watched both episodes then, Harry? Enjoyed the Billy Joel doc. Learned some things. I wasn't aware he had a done classical piano. Yeah. James says Billy dropped a 155 track album as a companion to the documentary. Yeah, I just talk about whether or not Paul might do something like that for when his documentary comes out, supposedly later this year. We shall see. Uncle Paul says Billy Joel documentary is really amazing. It made me realize that the anthology does need a re-release for another generation 35 years later. Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully that happens. Tony D says, well, Billy was due for a new music. He stopped making new songs in 93. True. Yes. He said, yes, he did watch both. Henry says, Billy knows how to write a catchy tune. Vienna is a master. Vienna is probably my favorite Billy Joel song. Or Deep Cut, or whatever. I love a lot of his hits, but Vienna is a masterpiece. It is. 155 new tracks. Question, yes, that's what I hear. And Harry says 155 unreleased material and a lot with intros from the documentary. Okay. Nick Syretz. Nick, do you have a trivia question for us? How are you? Thank you for being here, my friend. Thank you. Harry G. Live songs. Okay. Henry saw Eddington in the theaters last week. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I saw it 2 weeks ago, I think. No, I saw it last Thursday. Yeah, I really liked it a lot too. Tim says it must be remembered that Bill Maher makes his living by getting people to say controversial things, and he succeeded on that one. Tony's Liverpool song collage is decent, but it was a one-time listen for me. Yeah, well, I've listened to it more than once, but I'm going to listen to it again just for this ranking. Okay. Ali says, James says, Ali, mostly alternate versions of songs we know. Oh, okay, that's good. That's really cool. Oh, Nick. Bioletti, Joe loves the White Album. He even ranked it. Yeah, I know. Yeah. We once did. Lynn says, gotta take a phone call. See you later. Yeah. Thank you, Lynn. We'll see you there. Um, Joe loves. Yeah, we did a. I think it was myself, Dylan Seavey, Joe, and one other person. We were on Ken Michaels' radio podcast, and all of us were asked to name our favorite Beatles album and why. I had picked Revolver, and yeah, and Joe and Ken they picked White Album, and I know Dylan Seavey picked Abbey Road, but I picked Revolver. Okay, Zanzibar and Vienna are my two favorite deep cuts from Billy Joel. Very cool. I like that. I did see that Alan Kozin is not a Billy Joel fan. His hell is I know Andrew Lloyd Webber. I know. Yeah, that's the big joke over there is the Andrew Lloyd Webber. Yeah. Tom, Are you doing movie reviews? Not anymore. No. I mean, on Joe's movie channel. Every Monday night, Tim Allen and we join Joe Mayo on his movie channel, and if I see a movie, I'll talk about it. I don't necessarily do like reviews, but I'll talk about it. I'll give my thoughts on it. Um, but I kind of maybe just gave up on my movie channel just because I was doing a lot and I wanted to cut back on the amount of stuff that I was doing, and yeah, so I kind of just I might go back to it on certain things. Maybe I'll go back on it and do like a monthly thing where I show the Blu-rays that I picked up for the month, and maybe do things like that on my movie channel. But other than that, I don't plan on doing too much more of that. So, but yeah, that's it. We got DJ Reed. How you doing? I love the White Album. I would pick this album the best. You do a great job. Well, thank you very much, DJ. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate it. And thank you for being here. White Album is fantastic. White Album is fantastic. Yeah, thank you, Tony. That's who I forgot. John Montaigne. Yeah, he's a bass player, and he does like bass clinics of Paul McCartney, and yeah, he played with Alan Parsons Band. Yes, yes. Thank you for reminding me. But yeah, White Album is just so diverse. But then again, so is Revolver. Revolver was, I think, their first really, really diverse album. Richard James, do you like My Chemical Romance? I don't think I've ever heard a song from My Chemical Romance, so I won't say yes or no. But I know of them. I've heard of them, but I don't listen to them. Should I? Should I listen to My Chemical Romance? Richard, and why? Why should I? So there you go. Bill Maher said that I Am the Walrus is terrible lyrics, but of course he did say why John wrote. Yeah, I kind of caught that part too. Whatever. Whatever. I mean, a lot of these sometimes they just hot takes just for hot take. Unless you're our friend Owen Ling, Mr. Hot Take Owen Ling, and can back it up. I don't really care for anybody's hot take. Celebrity wise. Again, like you said, I mean, they're just there to say controversial things. Tom, will you be getting your photo with AD at Chicago Fest? He's a big superstar. No, I will not. I tell you what, what I would have done is if I had, let's say, if I had a copy of Grease 2, one of the worst sequels of all time, maybe I'd bring that and have him sign it or something. But no. The White Album's flaws make it great. Sure. Yeah. I've never been a fan of, Wild Honey Pie. I like Piggies, but it's, I don't seek it out. What else? I like Cry Baby Cry too, but again, it's just there's so much great stuff on there, you know. But I tell you what, I do enjoy the first album over the second album. When I was younger, Pepper was my favorite album. Then Abbey Road. Yeah, I don't think Pepper was ever my favorite. Yeah, I don't think Pepper was ever my favorite. It was always in the top five probably, but it was never a favorite. Honestly, difficult to rank just one as the best. Yeah, but it just depends on your criteria. Okay, let's say the White Album is the album you listen to the most. Then that's gotta be important. That's gotta stand for something, right? I mean, if the White Album is the album you listen to the most, then that's gotta be your favorite one, don't you think? I mean, the Revolver, I can back up Revolver being my number one because that's probably the album I've listened to the most in my life. Being a Beatle fan, I'd probably listen to Revolver more than any other Beatles album. I Am the Walrus has great lyrics. It's poetic, surreal. Some songs don't need to mean much. They don't need to mean anything. They enjoy. If you find something to enjoy about it, if it fits with you, if your ears enjoy it, then that's all that matters, in my opinion. John was trying to confuse people with I Am the Walrus. Okay. This is White Album. His number one. Very cool. Jenny Boyd is someone I want to meet. Yeah, we met Jenny. Was it in 23? It wasn't the first fest I went to. Maybe it was the second. Yeah, it was the second year. Yeah, because it was 22, 23, and 24 was at TWI or TWA, whatever. And then, yeah, this year it was back in Jersey. So, yeah, it was 23 when we got to meet Jenny Boyd. And I got a picture of her. Revolver would be perfect without, I agree 110%, Richard James. I am so over Yellow Submarine. So over Yellow Submarine. And I'm not going to highlight your other one there, Richard, okay? As funny as it may be, we'll just leave it at that. All right? So, there you go. So, we're a half hour in. What's going on, everybody? Okay, I like the U.S. Rubber Soul because it's not diverse. Yeah, it's more like a folksy type album, right? We did do a show about that. I finally picked up the U.S. Rubber Soul. What was it, in 23 or 24? Either way, we did do a show on that with Al Sussman and Ethan Alexanian, and that was a lot of fun. And it was a lot of fun. Yes, you blockhead. Yes, and I do really enjoy the U.S. Rubber Soul. I do. I really liked it. Still prefer the U.K., but U.S. Rubber Soul is really good. It's really good. It's a good argument between the two. Which one's better. I can understand both sides to that. So there you go. See here, Jenny Boyd is mentioned in a biography of Mick Fleetwood. I read. Okay. What does Alexanian do these days? Well, he's going to school, and the rest you'll have to ask him. That's his business to say. I mean, he's doing well, and I might go and visit him in August or September. We shall see. but he's doing well. He's doing good. So there. Wait, Jenny Boyd. Wait, was she? Oh, yeah, well, she was at this year's fest. Never mind. Never mind. I got confused with the other Boyd. Anyways, so yeah. So what else, everybody? What else? So Mick Fleetwood was married to Jenny Boyd, making yeah, there you go. That's right. Yep. I hadn't realized that Andrew Watt had worked with Ozzy Osbourne. Yeah, yep. He worked with Ozzy, then the Stones, Elton, other musicians, and again, I'm really. Also, I really enjoy those two albums, so I'm really enjoying. I really can't wait to see what he does with Paul. Sorry, I'm reading. I had to read a text message, so got sidetracked there for a second. Anyways, Richard, you don't have to say my name every time you say comment. But I saw that you are listed as a guest in the Fest website now. Congrats, you made it, kid. Oh, thank you, thank you. Um, it's not necessary, but it's kind of cool, you know, to be recognized like that. But yeah, nice. I'll have to go and look. I don't even look at. I'm just waiting for the schedules to come out, which I hope is this Friday. So there's that. They always announce the schedule, a week before the fest, which I think is kind of lame. But why they gotta wait a week? Anyways, I know there's reasons behind all that, but whatever. Okay. What else? I've started to get into started listening to some Depeche Mode. We all know Violator, right? But I did pick up music for the masses, and I really enjoy this one a lot. I'll be listening to this more and get some more of their earlier stuff. Go from there. If anybody has fans of Depeche Mode, tell me what your favorite Depeche Mode albums are, and I'll check them out. Let's see. Having Billy Tone over there should be fun. Yeah. That'll be great. I can't wait to meet Billy Tone. Mazzy's going to be there as well, so looking forward to meeting Mazzy. Let's see here. We are there when the first night at the fest. No, wait. I'm sorry. Were you there when the first night of the fest at TWA turned into a drag show after dark? I do not partake in that part of the fest. Let's just say that. Let's just say that. A few of my favorite guests won't be returning, but I will meet Tone. Okay. Black Celebration. Yeah, that's one of the ones I'm going to be picking up next. As a matter of fact, I will definitely check that one out, Richard. Thank you for that. Probably Tony. Probably. I don't know. I'm not interested. No comments. But whatever. Whatever. All right. What's next? What is next? Do I have anything else to show? This was last year, right? So I did get Wings Getting Closer, 45. So then obviously I got, here we flip it around. I got Steve Holly's autograph. And then down below you got LJ. So there's that. Let's see here. What's the Macca 3 box set I see? Macca 3? You mean this or what? This or what? This is the new globe. Okay, this was a promotional piece to celebrate the album New, and it lights up. You shut it off, and then every time you turn it back on, it's a different color. So then you got blue. Trying to get it. Well, it's yeah, whatever. Anyways, you get the idea. I love that little thing. Anyways, um, are you seeing Morrissey in his upcoming North America tour? No, unfortunately, not this time. He's not coming to Michigan this time around. The closest he's coming is Chicago, but since I'm going to all these McCartney tours, that's kind of, you know, took care of me seeing anybody else pretty much this year. uh, any song that I would cut off Ram. Let's see here. Any song that I would cut off Ram. Maybe the Ram on Reprieve. I mean, it's only a minute long, so maybe that doesn't count, huh? I've never been the biggest fan of the Eat at Home song. You know, for the longest time, it would have been Long Haired Lady. Long Haired Lady, I couldn't stand for the longest time, but now I love it. Okay. Plus, I've never been the biggest fan. It was a number one song, but I've never been the biggest fan of Uncle Albert Admiral Halsey. You know, but if I were to cut a song off of Ram, maybe it would be Eat at Home, maybe. But I love the album as a whole. You know, I love listening to Ram. Love it. Let's see here. Richard says, if Yvonne was on Press to Play, would it be the best song on the album? It would probably be my favorite song on the album. I don't know if it would be the best song on the album, but it would be my favorite song on the album. Absolutely. James says, looking back, Old Siam Sir should have been the first single off Back to the Egg here. In UK, Earl Through Me should have been. Okay. Also, it shouldn't have been. Arrow Through Me should have been the first. Okay, I see. Yeah. Old Siam Sir is kind of a weird track to lead off an album with. In the UK, anyways. Because what we got getting closer here. Yes, very nice autographs. The dice. I don't know what you're talking about, Tony. I got mixed up. Okay. I love Old Siam Sir, but it's not a single unless they edit it down a bit. Yeah, I enjoy it. I don't think it's the best song on the album, but I enjoy Old Siam Sir. I like the riff. Long Hair Lady reminds me of my crush. She's the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. Fact. Okay. Fair enough. Sing it in my head whenever I see her. My long hair lady. That's the feeling long haired lady provokes. Okay. James says, I agree. Eat at Home sounds too ordinary now. Another Day should have been on the album instead. Yeah, I like it. I like that thought. The production on Eat at Home sounds completely different than everything else on the album. Eat at Home, to me, it sounds like it was recorded in a garage, where everything else on the album sounds like it was recorded professionally, in the studio. Take it, Tony. Absolutely. Although that's wildlife. So you do like Three Legs? I do, very much so. Very much so. It was one of the factors of naming this show. Do you plan to see the Fantastic Four? Got good reviews. Yeah, it did, but I think I'm going to skip this one unless I get really bored and decide to go. But Yeah, I'll probably skip Fantastic Four. Let's see here. Old Time Sir might be my least favorite track off Back to the Egg. Okay. I think it's probably in the middle for me. Um, some amount of water. Oh, I need water. Um, Back to the Egg, huh? Let's see here. As we're talking about ranking stuff. So glad to see you. Never been the biggest fan of. I'd probably put that right around the bottom. And plus, I don't remember how I ranked this when we did it during ranking of the tracks. you Rockestra's theme I've never cared for, never. But it was fun when we were at the fest, jamming away to to some Rockestra with Steve and LJ. That was fun, but yeah, never cared much for Rockestra theme. Um, Richard says Arrow Through Me has had a resurgence. I think it's becoming a TikTok tip. Yeah, and plus I think he added it to he had it on his Pierre McCartney set. Rocket Stars blah. I agree. James Boyce again and again and again is my least fave. Daytime, nighttime suffering should have been on the Back to the Egg instead. Okay, fair enough. Tony says side 2 of Back to the Egg is his favorite. I'll disagree. Sorry. Even though it's got some faves, I love When a Rose, Love Awake. That's a beautiful, beautiful song in my opinion. But yeah, but the Rockestra stuff I can do without. I can do without, Tony. Sorry, buddy. But yeah. But anyways, so oh geez. So we did do a show on this a few months ago or earlier this year. And I don't recall what I put in there for the worst song in there, but stuff like Meat Free Monday is not a good song. He was affiliated with a song called Love Song for the Earth, which I thought was terrible. The stuff he did with Kanye is not my favorite. P.S. Love Me Do, I can do without. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reggae, I could do without. And there's other stuff out there too that I can't stand. Probably a few things. However, absurd, Hey Hey from Pipes of Peace. I don't think is that good. And you got some, you got a great drummer, great bass player, and I just don't think it's that good. But yeah, I mean, he's got quite a few songs on there that I can't stand, But I mean, that's for every musician, right? Every musician has had a bad day at the office. Several. The ranking the track show series is how I discovered the show. Well, that's cool, Tony. Cool. Thank you, sir. When Rolling Stone reviewed Back to the Egg, they called it again and again against the album's standout track. Is that right? We might have to do a show on that. Just for that comment. Just for that comment. That's fantastic. I do like the song though. Cut out Rockestra and After the Ball and add Daytime, Nighttime's Daytime and Good Night Tonight, and it would be a better. Well, of course, there's that thought out there that if you put the Good Night Tonight on Back to the Egg, that it probably would have sold another 1 million copies, and maybe so, but I don't know. I like the fact that he has stuff that's not on albums. I like that. It's more for people to collect. Right? It's more gray hair for us collectors. Oh yeah, yeah. I love After the Ball and Love Awake. There you go. Richard says my friend's favorite McCartney song is All Day Fact. Is that right? Is that right? Yes, 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 yes. David Jackson, thank you for reminding me of that terrible song. Thank you. I appreciate you. Ali says, "Do you think you could distill your favorite McCartney songs to a single CD length track?" Wow. Um, I mean, you're talking like 14 of the best, or my favorite. Okay. Um, yeah, I could probably put my 14 favorite tracks onto one or single CD's length. So you're talking 80 minutes then. You're talking 80 minutes. And could I make it a comprehensive like compilation, right? Or where it's throughout his whole career. And what I think maybe the tracks that fans should know or appreciate about Paul McCartney's um, career. Maybe I could do it. 80 minutes? Yeah, why not? Let's give it a go. Let's see here. You forgot more. Yeah, thank you. That's right. I did that. Pipes of Peace is my least favorite. Really? Now, I love Pipes of Peace. I love Pipes of Peace. It was his last number one song in the UK, wasn't it? Bip Bop, I hate. Yeah, I know there's a lot of hate for Bip Bop and Mumbo. Richard says, "Do you think Paul will ever wipe out Good Night Tonight Live or whip out? Sorry, whip out. No, no, I don't think he'll ever whip out Good Night Tonight Live. No." Do you like Paul's junk? I like Paul's song junk, but you know, I don't know about his junk. Um, but I like his song junk, and I like his song sing along junk. I might like sing along junk more than I like junk. Pipes of Peace is a chore to listen to. Really? Okay. Side A of Pipes of Peace is okay. The B side is a very mixed bag. I agree. I agree. Pipes of Peace. When I do my ranking, it's not going to be very high. And some people might say, and I might have like a couple live albums that are higher up in my ranking than Pipes of Peace. Some people will be like, "How can you have a live album higher up in the list than Pipes of Peace?" And I'll be like, "Because it's me. Because this is my listening experience. I mean, I do not get a lot of enjoyment out of listening to Pipes of Peace these days. The album, that is. The song I do like." Let's see here. Paul has done Good Night Tonight live in more recent years, guesting with another group. Okay. But he hasn't done it live with himself or a band since what, 79? Since the UK tour? You think Back to the Egg has a coherent theme, or is electric with rock, diverse genres to you? I mean, it's got some kind of a little bit of a theme to it, doesn't it? You don't get the love. I don't get the love for Back to the Egg. To me, it's full of half-assed, or should we say, songs which go nowhere. Old Silencer, Arrow Through Me, Getting Closer. I don't agree. I don't agree. I do understand the love for it. Um, we see Paul in great rocking form on a lot of these songs. Um, there's some wonderful tender moments, which you have on almost all, on a lot of his albums, right? I love the production on it. I love how it sounds. I love the cover. It's a cliche, but Pipe suffers from following tug of war. Well, it also suffers because of the fact that, I mean, a lot of that album, half of that album is leftovers from tug of war, I think. Those leftovers would have been better off being B-sides, maybe. I mean, thank God "Ode to a Koala Bear" wasn't on Pipes of Peace. Okay, sorry, Andy, but sorry, guys out there that like that song. But I am not a fan of "Ode to a Koala Bear," and I'm glad that was left off and was delegated to a B-side. Oh boy, here we go. Beetle Eddie, Pipes of Peace or Press to Play. Wow. Um, right now, but it's got so bad. I love So Bad. I love the track So Bad, and I do really like The Other Me. On Pipes of Peace. It's a tie. It's a tie. I mean, because the songs I really hate on Press to Play, I really hate. But I really hate some stuff on Pipes of Peace as well. Yeah, I have to think about that. We'll see. We'll see when I do the ranking. How about that, Beetle Eddie? When I do the ranking, you'll find out which one I prefer. All right. Oh, hold on. Ali says, I think Back to the Egg is kind of crummy. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I think it's more UK people too that don't really care for Back to the Egg. Do you think I would be right on that, James? Do you think it's more UK people that don't care for Back to the Egg? Because I think I see so much more appreciation for Back to the Egg here in the States than in the UK. But then again, Paul's in the 70s was a lot more successful here than over there. So Tim says Back to the Egg is Paul's rock and roll album. It's my favorite of his solo work. Cool. Yeah, I mean a lot of rock on that album. He really did rock on that album. Wildlife was my favorite album, so I'm different, I suppose. Um, Wildlife is dear to my heart. It really is. Preferred version of Wanderlust ballroom dancing. Tug of War. Although I do like ballroom dancing, with the added stuff from the video, But recording wise, I think I got to go with Tug of War. So Bad is, I think I prefer the So Bad on Broad Street over Pipes of Peace, though. Let's see here. Would Back to the Egg be better with a different running order? I don't necessarily buy that. So, no, I don't think so. Tony said we love Back to the Egg, and the critics hated it. Yep. Beetle says Back to the Egg is his favorite. Cool. And there we go. Back to the Egg would be a good EP. Oh boy. I disagree about that too. I disagree with that too. Running order is perfect. I love how you have medley ballads, and reading a passage from novel. Yeah. Sun Dodger, how you doing, buddy? Hi, Tom, enjoying the show. How about a playlist of your least favorite Macca songs with your 14-track CD of the worst of Macca? Yeah, but would I ever listen to it? I mean, I could make it, but I don't think I would ever listen to it. And why would anybody want to listen to it, for that matter? But yeah, tracks that I said, thanks for David for reminding me. I try to forget Motor of Love, but yeah, there's that. Twice in a Lifetime. Sorry, Harry. Back to the Egg was mauled here when it came out. I think UK fans are a bit meh on Back to the Egg. Yeah, well, you guys are a bit meh on every album that he released back in the 70s. Yeah. Wave the Sword. There you go. Yep. From the movie. Let's see here. The only thing I would change on Back to the Egg would be to add Cage. Yeah, but what do you take off then, Tim? You got to take something off to put Cage on it. What do you take off? Back to the Egg, a 37-year-old trying to sound in appear as a 17-year-old punk. Yeah, well, he had a 17-year-old punk girl daughter. I don't know if she was 17 at that time, but but her kids kind of sometimes influenced um, music. I mean, look at Mary Had a Little Lamb, right? That was kind of influenced for the kids. Hey Diddle Diddle, was influenced, you know, for the kids. I think Back to the Egg is in UK was completely competing with the Jam, Clash, Elvis Costello. So hard to appreciate in '79. Okay, yeah, yeah. Here's an older guy competing with the 20-year-olds. Uh, in the UK. I mean, I can understand that, David. I can understand that. Okay. I think Paul being 37 in 1979 was a factor. Music critics slagging him off. He wasn't young and hip. Yep. Yep. I can see that, James. Um, Wildlife Side 2 is so perfect to me. Three ballads and tenders. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it is definitely the better side of the two, for sure. For sure. I think London Town is underrated. I agree there. Absolutely agree. Is Once Upon a Long Ago the best song? Another Nothing. Wait a minute. Is Once Upon a Long Ago the best song? Another Nothing Ever Made. Um, Not sure if I'm understanding that, Richard. London Town is near masterpiece. I don't know. I don't know if it's a near masterpiece, but it is a really good album. I look at songs like Children that I really don't care for. Um, some other stuff on there that I don't think is great. But Deliver Your Children. I just love the two harmonies on Paul and Denny's voice um, on that track. Deliver Your Children is fantastic. Is Once Upon a Long Ago the best song about nothing ever? Okay, well, I mean, I guess if you think it's about nothing, I mean, I never really thought maybe, yeah, it's an episode of Seinfeld, right? A show about nothing, and you think this song is about nothing. Well, ask Andy about that one, because I know Andy is a big fan of Once Upon a Long Ago. Back to the Egg is short. You don't have to remove anything. Okay. All right. If that's the way you want to play it, my friend. Take a name and address, and I've had enough off London Town, and it's a masterpiece. Yeah, those little light rockers on there. Back to the Egg was 42. How much could you add? Short in London Town, it would be stronger. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, Children, I think, is like the weakest track on there, so I would just remove that altogether. London Town's okay. That is why he made Back to the Egg. Maybe. I mean, look, but I mean, again, here's an album that goes to number 2. Okay, nothing was going to get past Saturday Night Fever at that point in time. I didn't care who you are. You weren't just going to get past Saturday Night Fever. So there you go. Once Upon a Long Ago is about memories. Okay. Those rockers are my two favorite London Town tracks. Of course. Of course. What's up, Real Jackson? How you doing? What's up? Yeah. You doing all right, hopefully? Thanks for joining. Matthew, how you doing? London Town's perfect. I love those light rockers. I might like Name and Address a little bit more than I had enough. I like his kind of Elvis impersonation on that track. Maureen, how are you? One of my faves is the song Venus and Mars, and roll with it. Yeah, that would be really cool if Paul, opened a tour with those two songs again. Venus and Mars and Rock Show. That would be so cool if he opened up a tour with those. The problem is Paul's albums have merit, so even the lesser ones are good. Okay, I can see that. Um, Christopher, I would have added Good Night Tonight, daytime, nighttime, Cage, same time next year. Did we meet here? Did we meet somewhere before? And Weep for Love to back to the egg and make it a double album. Yeah, well, he was never going to get a double album back then, unfortunately. Unfortunately, he was never going to get a double album. Um, I mean, if he couldn't get Red Rose Speedway to be a double album, even by '79 when he's got all this success, right? Um, they still didn't want him to have a double album. I mean, yeah, I know the live album was a triple album, and I'm sure he was lucky to get that. Let's see here. Come on. There we go. The guitar solos on I've Had Enough are cool. Okay, I'll buy that. Paul would take off his Elvis tribute. Oh, Paul wouldn't take. Okay, Paul wouldn't take off his Elvis tribute. Yep. Um, Tim says, "Why would you remove one of the two hits from the album?" Well, I mean, it's just a modest hit. If you're talking about London Town, or are you talking about Back to the Egg or London Town? Because London Town, you know, the second and third, singles they were just modest hits. They were just barely top 40, right? Whereas, with a little luck was number one, but then with London Town and Back to the and London Town and I've Had Enough were, they barely cracked the top 40. Weep for Love wasn't recorded until they were filming Back to the Egg video. So there you go. So it was already the album was already completed. But you know what? That album took them practically a year to make. Columbia would never have sanctioned a double album as a first album for them. Yeah, there you go. Whoever your rock heroes are with big catalogs gonna be stinker song. Yeah, everybody's gonna have stinker songs. I mean Elton John, Neil Young, Kiss. All my favorites. Even the Smiths have some clunkers in there. Who else? Yeah, Elton, Kiss, Chicago. I'm a big fan of the original lineup of Chicago. They've had a couple clunkers as well. So yeah, everybody has a bad day at the office. I really enjoy the mellow feel of London Town. Don't Let It Bring You Down. It might be my fave. Okay, that's fair. It's that's your ears and your listening experience. If that's how you see it, then I'm happy for you. New vinyl pickup. I've found a 45 RPM of Del Shannon's From Me to You in excellent condition. Yay me, cool. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Did you see Denny's video for Heartbeat yet? No. I have not. What clunkers do the Smiths ever have? I can't name it. Meat is Murder. I am not a fan of that track. Meat is Murder. Okay. Well, 25. I mean, that's not gonna get you on Wings Greatest. But I see what you mean, Tim. I see. Glad to hear you're a Smiths fan. Love this. So yeah, I'm a Smith fan and Morrissey fan. I found this a little while ago, but I love this. This is Morrissey, the CD singles, 88 to 91. This is one of my favorite little sets from Morrissey. But yeah, I can't wait to see him again. If any chance I get to see, I've seen him 4 times now. Hopefully I'll get more chances to see him more. because I just think he's a fantastic singer. Love his lyrics. Mita's Murder, great album. Strange Way is just okay. Yeah, Mita's Murder. I mean, I like every song on Mita's Murder except for Mita's Murder. you know, just not a fan. Where are we here? There we go. Did you see the funeral procession for Ozzy? No, I didn't. I mean, listen, I like Ozzy a lot. I'm a huge Ozzy Osbourne fan. I've seen him on 4 different occasions. I seen him once. No, sorry, I saw him twice for an Ozfest. I saw him solo with Sepultura and Danzig. It was also one of my favorite singers of all time. And then I saw him again in 13 for the Black Sabbath reunion tour. So I've got to see him 4 times. I love Ozzy. I think he's got one of the greatest stage presence for a live singer ever. I mean, I just think he's fantastic the way he gets out there. He loves his fans, and he's just a cool guy. Cool guy. I would have loved to have hung out with Ozzy. So, but no, I didn't want anything to do with seeing that. Getting Closer was 20. Yeah, but again, if you're talking about Paul McCartney, you're used to top 10 hits. You're used to top 10 hits. The first Smiths albums is their best. Matthew, I love that album. I love Reel Around the Fountain, the first track on the first album. I just love that song. I dreamt about you last night, and I fell out of bed twice. Okay. Love the first Smiths album. I love Back to the Egg, especially when it rose and Getting Closer. Okay. Wings only played I've Had Enough from London Town when I saw them in '79. Shows Paul wasn't a big fan of the album. Yeah, but you know what? He could probably do that song now if he wanted to. I think he could still do a good job with that one live these days with his voice the way it is. Let's see here. Tim, for me, 90% of the Smith songs are clunkers, right? Not a fan, right? Oh, well. Well. Let's see, Tom, have you ever heard the Spark song, Lighten Up Morrissey? No, but maybe I should write that down and give it a listen. Sparks, lighten up Morrissey. Okay, I will give that a listen. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Let's see, Hotel in Benidorm has got to be contender for worst Macca song from Paul. Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's up there. Tony D enjoyed the last 2 legs show. I love both albums as is. Well, I'm glad you do. Flowers in the Dirt and Off the Ground. For me, haven't aged well. Some people might not like the way that sounds, or that term, but I don't think they have. There's still songs on there that I love, but that whole, adult contemporary genre, if you want to call it that, it just doesn't play well for me. I know a lot of people in that time of same age as Paul. Eric Clapton, Elton John. They were kind of like, put into that adult contemporary. Steve Winwood. Some of it's good, some of it, it's just okay. Do you like the Bee Gees? Doc's Gang are too cool for them. I do like Bee Gees. I never gotten any of their albums except Saturday Night Fever, which I don't know if you were going to really say is, Bee Gees' album, although they do dominate that album. But what album? If I were to pick up a few Bee Gees albums, what should I pick up? Kicked Around No More and Long Leather Coat. My pick for a single from Paul era. Yeah, from that era. Yeah, I love Long Leather Coat. Kicked Around No More is fantastic. Matt says, I had tickets to see the Smiths on the Queen is Dead tour in the U.S., and then they broke up and the tour was canceled. Yeah, that sucks. Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. Do you like Deftones? They take inspiration from Morrissey and Danzig. Quite a beautiful comedy. I'd say so, but no, I never really listened to the Deftones. I know who they are, but I haven't listened to much of their music. Morrissey is like Dylan for me. Lyricists, as lyricists, they're great, but I can't get past their vocal delivery. I think Morrissey is fantastic. I love his vocals on just about everything that he sings. Yeah, there's that. And I think you like the like London Town, but when you're trying to play Beatles and Wings hits to get the crowd excited, the most songs on Let It Be, no one knew. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, you could still probably play, with a little luck, which they didn't play. Was it a hit in the UK? How did someone look up and see how with a little luck did in the UK, please? I know it went to number one here, but I would love to know how it did in the UK. Yeah, I love the early Bee Gees. I even play them on the podcast. There you go. Very cool. Tim, I collect those 93 off the ground. Paul 93 off the ground in 2021. Okay. Let's see here. I love the early pre-disco, very Beatles sounding for Bee Gees, right? Yeah. Have you heard the title for the new Faulkner movie, Faulkner? Yes, I have, Beatle Eddie. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. That's supposed to come out next year in November. I'm only just getting into the Bee Gees. I have a box set with the first three albums, both mono and stereo, along with another 3 CDs of bonus tracks. Okay. Christopher, James, and David, they all say number 5 in the UK. So, hey, that's a hit in the UK. I mean, why he can play, with a little luck during that 79 tour. I guess they said they did rehearse it, but it just didn't sound, well enough to perform live. Okay. Tim says he has that box set, that Bee Gees box set. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I do like Bee Gees, but I love their hits. I don't know if I'm gonna like them enough to get their albums, but maybe one day. Tom, do you collect the Bob Dylan bootleg series? No, but I did get a couple of the 2 CD sets of a few of them. Do you think Paul should start performing Hope of Deliverance again, live again? I love that song. It's a song that I never really cared for when the album came out, but I do enjoy that song now. I would appreciate seeing him perform Hope of Deliverance again. Absolutely. Okay, we did that one. Or would it be too political? I don't think so. Not as much as, say, Big Boys Bickering, right? Now, if he did Big Boys Bickering live, that would, raise his street cred potentially. But I don't know if if all the families there, the parents of all the families there would appreciate him, singing, fucking it up for everyone over and over again. James, hey, buddy. James says, hey, Tom, how you doing? I'm busy at work. I'll watch later. Not sure I can participate in the Red Rose Speedway discussion later. So see you next week. Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. Let's take a little break here with all you guys here. Please, if you haven't hit that like button, please hit that like button. Okay, please subscribe to the state or to the channel if you haven't subscribed. As I keep talking too fast, I need some water too, so I might disappear for a second and grab some water. Um, but if you want to be a part of this listening party that we do once a month, you can join our Patreon, and you would be automatically connected to our Discord family. Then that is where we do our listening parties, because as some of you may know, we keep getting kicked off of YouTube for doing listening parties on YouTube. So we do that there. Okay. But yes, and if you guys don't know yet, we will be at the fest for Beatles fans in Chicago next week. So looking forward to seeing all of you there as well. All right, James bought with a little luck as a 45 and was shocked by the length. The radio edit was played on the radio here, which was unusual. Yeah, I mean, it's close to, was it like over 5 minutes, and then brought down to 3 minutes or something, 3 minutes and change. George, hey, George, music for all four seasons. I feel a song that never gets talked about is Coming Up. Huge favorite. Well, I mean, Coming Up, I think, is a fantastic song. I think it's worthy of talking about. And let me finish that when I'm going to go grab a water, guys, real quick. Okay. Give me a second. All right. I think people don't talk about it because it's already popular. I think it's safe to say that just about every Paul McCartney fan likes or loves Coming Up. David says, to me, the Kinks are the only band up there with the Beatles. Ray's best lyrics. Yeah, lyric writer from the UK. I think it's fantastic. I love Village Green, Preservation Society. I like Lola versus Power Man. I like a lot of their stuff. Hope of Deliverance was the last new Paul song that I ever heard get airplay on the radio. Yeah, it's too bad. It is too bad. He should Give Ireland Back to the Irish Life. I would like that. Marine says, anything in the 70s was better than Disco. That might be the worst song of the 70s. Disco Duck. Oh, boy. Do you like Dream Pop like Julie Cruz? No, I can't say that I do. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. In 2018, the Beatles channel played Paul's new single, I Don't Know, Come On To Me, before the album. Yeah, but, I mean, that's different than radio, as say, when we were all kids. Radio is not the same today as it once was. Okay, radio today, you're just going to hear the same 20 songs that you heard back in 1982, 83, over and over again. It's just too bad. Pop isn't nowhere near as enjoyable as it once was. I'm sad that disco started when I was in. Okay. Let's see here. Off the Ground single version is far superior to the album version. I think the song is overshadowed by the mostly Duff album it lends its name to. Yeah. I do like that opening track. I do like the title track, Off the Ground. Again, and that was on the '93 tour, and he left that off the live album as well, which is a shame. Um, James says, I heard it coming up live in '79, but when the single came out, I didn't recall the song at all. Oh well. You and plus you got the UK side. You got the live track, right? No, you got the. What did you get? You got the album version in the UK, right? Or am I wrong? The UK got the live version, and over here we got the studio version. I'm confused. I forgot what was what. Plus, it went to number one over here. Hello, Tom. Can I get your autograph at the fest, please? We'll see, Mike. We'll see. How you doing? How are you, my friend? It's also I liked disco, but didn't admit it. Didn't admit it. Yeah, I admitted that I like disco. I had no problem with that. I had no problem admitting that I like disco. New and the World Tonight used to get U.S. airplay. Um, by that time, I wasn't listening to the radio. You know what? You know what? I take that back. I was listening to a classic rock station, WCSX here in Michigan, Detroit, and I do remember hearing the World Tonight get played on that station. No, Richard. No, can't say that I am. My goal is to be the Paul McCartney of Sugar's Dream one day. Okay. All right. All right. Hold on here. Damn it. Come on. There we go. Hey, Brad, how are you doing? Good to see you. I think the last thing I heard of Paul, not on radio, but because service in a store I worked at was about 2 or 3 tracks from Chaos and Green. Oh, yeah. You know what? I remember being I actually was at a grocery store back when Egypt Station, was it Egypt Station? No, New. I remember hearing Queenie Eye at a grocery store. I thought that was pretty cool. Richard James says, coming up studio version or live version, which I prefer the studio version. 9 times out of 10, I will always prefer the studio version. However, I do love Wings Over America. I do love Wings Over. But because then you got, I love that the intro to Beware My Love that's on the album, right? I love the outro that's on Rock Show that's on the album, right? But you don't get it on the live stuff. But I understand why. But there you go. Let's see here. We got the live as a B-side and Lunchbox Odds. Yeah. That's right. That is right. 1975, they being a disco. I think I was still in high school. I couldn't stand disco, especially the Lisa Bridges song, "The Love." I love the night. Oh, I love the nightlife. I got to boogie around the disco. Oh yeah. Okay. I heard coming up live in '79. Cool. The USA side was the live version. UK was the studio version. There you go. Thank you, Tim. Lennon Like Disco. I did hear that. Wings played coming up live on the '79 tour. Yep, before the song even. Yeah, so you heard a song before it even came out. How cool is that? I like the live up close version of Off the Ground. Way better than the studio version. Yeah. I prefer live. Maybe I'm Amazed from Wings Over America. David, I'm going to disagree with you on that one. I totally prefer the studio version of that. I think it's more intimate. Um, but but listen, Jimmy doing the solo there is fantastic, but I still prefer Paul's solo. Midweek, yes, it's right. It is the midweek disco break. Thank you. Yes, it is the midweek disco break. So keep that disco chat coming, guys. Come on. Come on. What's everybody's favorite disco song? That's what I want to know. Brad says, I'm first year Gen X. I have often debated with boomers that "Oh Woman, oh What a Night" by the Four Seasons is disco. Okay. Okay. Could it be disco? I think it could be disco. I think you might be onto some, you know. But I mean, that's also the debate whether or not "Good Night Tonight" is a disco album. When we had Lawrence Juber on, he confessed that he felt it was more of a Latin, uh, Spanish type, you know, dance track over than more of like a disco. I prefer SNL. Maybe the best. What? Maybe I'm amazed. Oh boy, for the 40th anniversary. Oh, still cringe when I hear Paul sing that song. Late. Yep, there you go. See, I miss you. The Stones' best disco song. If you think, do you think I'm sexy? That might be the best disco song ever, huh? See, Tim Allen was paying attention to the Tigers game. Yeah, Tigers 7, D-backs 2. Was that last night? The 1970 Maybe I'm Amazed doesn't have the wonderful ending that the live version has. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So many to mention regarding disco songs, but let's go with Love and Desire. Okay. But the studio version is all Paul, which is remarkable to, isn't it? Isn't it? Um, Boogie Wonderland by Earth, Wind and Fire is my dad dances. Okay, very good. Would you guys consider Heart of Glass by Blondie a disco song? Song from Sugar. Okay, okay. Real Jackson, you might be on Donna Summer. I think she was the queen of disco. Donna Summer disco tunes were great. And Love to Love You Baby. Oh boy. Yeah, hot stuff. Yeah, a lot of good stuff from Donna Summer. He says I hated Afternoon Delight. I liked Nightlife too. Had a crush on Frampton. Then I loved anything Earth, Wind, and Fire. Yeah, I got to cook for Earth, Wind, and Fire. I got to meet the main three guys that are still going. Including Philip Bailey. Is that his name? Philip Bailey. Um, and that was really cool. I got to watch most of the show off to the stage, and I got to see them perform my favorite Earth, Wind, and Fire song, which is "Reasons." I love the song "Reasons" from I think from what's the album? That's the Way of the World. As I think the "Reasons" is from That's the Way of the World. I'll have to go back and check. Brad says I Was Made for Loving You by Kiss is considered their disco song, but it's still rock and roll to me. Yes, and everybody consider because of that song, people think that album that it's from, Dynasty, is a disco album, and it is not. It is not a disco album. No, that Tigers game just okay. So it was just now. Then okay, cool. So that's good. So that's 4 wins in a row. So they're getting hot again. My college radio station played The World Tonight. Mostly I played. See, that's how you got to get Paul McCartney played, right? You got to be a Paul McCartney fan and get yourself a college DJ job, and then play all McCartney. Tim says I actually might like the one hand clapping version of Maybe I'm Amazed Best. I also like the James Paul McCartney special. Okay, yeah, I did like the Maybe I'm Amazed version from that. Yeah, from one hand clapping. Brad says, and yes, I did watch all that Billy Joel documentary way too long. Really? In my opinion, I guess if I liked him as much as Paul, I wouldn't think that. Yeah, I think that's cool. What 4 hours in total? Listen, I think any musician that has that long of a career deserves nothing less than 4 hours. Come on. Night Fever. Yes, I love Night Fever. Night Fever is fantastic. Nights of Broadway is a fantastic Bee Gees song that I love. I will wait, even if it takes forever. No, Blondie is reggae. Okay, well, the tide is high, right? Blondie is all genre. Blondie's got hits in a lot of genre: disco, reggae, punk. Come on, pop. A few Blondie songs are reggae, not all of them. Thank you. Yes. Disco Get Down Tonight. Yeah, Casey. Yeah, down tonight. Do a little dance. Macca dipped his toes into disco with a little bit. It's a dance song, not really disco. Lawrence Schubert has set this right. Absolutely. Absolutely. ELO's Disco Very is partly disco album, Shine a Little Love. Yeah, so what is that? Discovery, yeah. Yeah. Discovery is, especially with Don't Bring Me Down at the end. Um, I love Last Train to London. Love Last Train to London. Um, and I'm so happy I got to see him do that live. Sorry, James, but um, it was so cool getting to see him do that song, Last Train to London. Last Train to London. Let's see here. Tell us about that thing sitting on top of the crate. All right, this thing. Okay. So this is, I showed this earlier, Doc, but this is the new promotional cube for the album New. Okay. And it lights up. Okay. But you're going to have a hard time seeing it because of the light. Well, here we go. Maybe this way. But it lights up to different, like 4 or 5 different colors. Okay. You can see that's green right there. And this is kind of like pinkish right there. So yeah, so this is just a really cool promotional piece for the new album. Okay, so it's not meh or Mew or whatever. Did Led Zeppelin do any disco songs? Laugh on Trampled Underfoot? No, I wouldn't consider that. No. All right, but look, we're at an hour 38, so this has been a lot of fun. I might start winding down here, unless you guys got a few more comments. But yeah, I mean this last 40 minutes have gone by quick. So hold on. Jane says no apologize needed. I've seen ELO 4 times in the last 11 years. Yeah. So yeah, you've had your fill, yeah. So, Jack says I just saw that Jeff Lynne and ELO is having health. Yeah. Then that's too bad. That's too bad. But again, who knows what those health issues are? Why would you want to take the chance? Or I don't want it to be a common thing where An artist does his like last show, and then 2 weeks later he dies. We saw this happen with like Mike Nesmith. We saw this just happen with Ozzy, right? Do we really want to see that? Do we want to see them, give their fans like one more tour or one more show, and then 10 days, 14 days later, they croak? Is that what people want? I don't know. I'd be really bummed out. If I see the last show is in Chicago, November what 25th, 4th or 25th or whatever like that, and let's say that he was planning on making that his last live performance, and then all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, he dies. That would kind of suck. But especially when they announce it as this is it, because I think Ozzy announced this was going to be his last show, right? But I think in a way he kind of knew that this was going to be it for him. But I don't know. What do you guys think? You know, so health issues or not, you got to ask yourself, is it really worth it? Tim says, in my opinion, most of these great artists have done enough. It's okay to retire, enjoy yourself a bit before the. Yeah, of course, yeah, I think so. They've given enough of themselves to us to where they don't owe us anything. Tom Petty would still be alive if he'd canceled his anniversary tour in 1617, where he went on or he went out on the road with a fractured hip. Yeah, yeah. Neil Diamond did it right. Yeah, yeah. Well, and then here we see Paul Simon, right? He retired from touring. Um, was it 5 years ago or so? And then all of a sudden, now he's back on the road, right? And he's talked about getting surgery, so he had to postpone some of that tour, right? I mean, these are the chances you're taking, as a 75 to 85-year-old performer. I think you are taking risks. As much as we would all love and go see these acts, they are taking risks. Getting on and off a bus or on and off a plane, getting little to no sleep, sleeping in hotel beds. I mean, I know this is, we shouldn't feel sorry for them. I don't necessarily feel sorry for them, but, I have some experience in doing a lot of traveling, and it's not the greatest thing to live out of a suitcase, um, whatever. I expect that Alice Cooper should perform well at age 77. Yeah, and I was thinking about going to see that show as well. I mean, it's Alice Cooper and Judas Priest. I love Judas Priest. And this is the original Alice Cooper band, or mostly the original Alice Cooper band. I would love to see that. But then I got all these Paul McCartney tickets, so and plus I still have to pay for traveling for all of these Paul McCartney shows that I'm going to. So I don't know if I'm going to be getting to any other shows this year. Paul Simon did a request for $20. It's a funny video, but still okay. Yeah. It's the life they chose to do. Yeah, yeah, it is. Right. You're absolutely right. This is the life they chose. Not all of them make it. A handful of them do. Yeah. Yeah. Money. Money talks. I mean, I'm sure there were music promoters out there, or his agent, were whispering in his ear, "Hey, look, there's still a big demand for you to go out and play live." So it's still tempting to do. So. Baseball players retire at 40. Rock and rollers have to go to 100. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. The amazing thing for Paul is not just his age, but the set list length. He plays shorter sets when he was much younger. There you go. And that's one of the things too is like, yeah, he's charging all of this money, right? But you're getting a 3-hour show or a damn near 3-hour show with 30 songs, so you are getting some bang for your buck. Don't forget Bourbon and Beyond in Louisville in September, where Ringo. You told me about that. I'm going to write that down, Brad. Thank you for reminding me about that, and I'll have to look that up. Bourbon and Beyond. Ringo. Yeah. Because I'll have to look that up. There might be a drive that I could possibly do instead of flying. I'm not saying it's great, but it's smart. Coming up a hologram like ABBA did. Yeah, and then Kiss is going to be doing some. Kiss hired the people that are doing that hologram show, and they're going to do their own. They're creating a Kiss show as well for them. But I don't remember. I don't even recommend that. I don't recommend it one bit. Ozzy played one more show, and we thought he was going to retire for a while, but God had other ideas. There you go. How are you doing? Thanks for being here, buddy. I saw Paul at the Royal Albert Hall and the Hammersmith Apollo 2012, 2010, and his 2-hour set fell short. Yeah. The drive to Detroit isn't too bad. We went up for a family funeral not long ago. Okay, cool. All right, you guys. Well, this has been a great hour, 46 minutes, coming into an hour and 47. I'm going to go like 3 more minutes here. So I'm going to start saying goodbyes. But again, Andy and I, we will be doing a panel at the Chicago Fest for Beatles fan. He and his other show as well, Hands Across America, with Beatley Tone and Kyle Hand. They're all going to be there. They're going to be doing a panel over there as well. So that's very cool. So we're going to be taking a break this weekend from doing a show, as we usually take the first weekend of August off. And then we've got some other shows planned as well. So that'll be cool. So I hope to see some of you in Chicago. Marine says, saw Cooper in 73. Welcome to my Nightmare tour. Met Frampton. Got on his tour bus. Oh, wow. In 80. Wow. I was born in 73. So, what fun that must have been. That had to have been a good time. Will Paul still be touring beyond age 85? I mean, if Ringo can still do it, and if Paul feels healthy enough, possibly. Look, I was all ready to say that was it in 2022. I thought that was it. Okay. I didn't think he was going to tour anymore. But I was wrong. He came out on tour. So I didn't think he was going to tour anymore. And now I'm just like, whatever. If I get to see him again, I'm going to see him again. But we'll see. We'll see. I think Andy thinks this is it. Andy thinks this is it. Like I thought a few years back. But if he's going to do a new album out after the tour, then I would suspect that he would, do one more go around and then call it a day. We'll see. I don't know. See you. Yeah, Tim, I will see you Monday, my friend. Sunday, have fun at the fest. I sure will. Ali says tartar. Yes, sir. James says, I'm hoping my next Paul gig will be a Liverpool as a finale. After this year, I will start saving up to go to the UK. I definitely need to get to the UK. Hopefully Liverpool, visit London, EMI, all that stuff. So, um, hopefully within the next 3 years, I will be getting my butt to the UK. So that's going to be it, guys. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen. It's been a blast talking with all of you for your midweek Macca break. I'll probably, I don't know if I'll be live next week. It just depends on the days, because I will be traveling to Chicago on Thursday morning, and so I don't know if I'll have that next Wednesday off. So next week, I might not be live for the midweek Macca break, but I'll be back the following week. Okay, so James says, Andy talking about Liverpool. It does. I was really hoping to get there for my 50th birthday a few years ago. Fortunately, that didn't happen. But yeah, I'm jonesing to get over there. Jones and Wink, how you doing, buddy? Mike says, thanks for the show. You got it, my friend. And George, I'll take care to you as well. Thank you for popping up. I really appreciate it. Everybody that popped up in the live chat, you guys are great. Okay, so I will see you all soon. Peace out.